questions after, so keep your hands up, please.
So we've got our first conference game, and it's not easy. There's 3 undefeated teams left in the country, and Oklahoma's one of them. You know, they're doing much better than what most people thought coming into the year. You know, they've got one of the better freshmen in the country in Fears. He's the only player in the SEC in top 5 in most scoring and assists. So, you know, we've got to do a great job on him defensively. They've got, 2 players in the top 10 in scoring. I think the only school to have that with Fears and Moore. Moore is a kid from Alabama, so you know they've got 2 kids in the starting lineup from Alabama, and Moore and Miles. But they're a good team. I mean, they're well coached. They've got offensive firepower. They're disciplined on defense. You know, we're gonna have to be ready to go. So this is this is our 6th season since we've been here starting the SEC. We've done a pretty good job most years in conference play, but you've got to start the conference out well. The 2 years we've won the regular season, you know, we started out, you know, pretty good in the first half of conference play. This is a tough one to start with, you know, but if you can have a chance to win the conference, you got to win your home games. So it's a home game that we got to take care of, and we got to figure out a way to get our defense improved, to get better shots on offense, take care of the ball on offense, and figure out a way to come up with a win here if we're going to have a chance to compete for the league.
Start right here, Blake.
Do you have an update on Derrion Reid and Houston Mallette and their availability for tomorrow?
Yeah, Derrion and Houston both practiced today. Derrion was somewhat limited. I mean, Houston was just an illness, so he's getting his wind back, trying to get his energy back. So he'll be available. Probably not quite as much as in the past, just because he's still coming off the illness. And Derrion with the ankle injury looked better today than yesterday. So they'll both, in all likelihood, be available unless there's some type of flare-up or something from practice that I don't anticipate.
Nick.
Yeah, the 3-point defense for Oklahoma, pretty strong, I think 4th in the country. But what stands out about their perimeter defense?
Yeah, I mean, they really challenge. They play hard. They fly around. You know, they're running you off the line. I mean, you can tell there's a concerted effort not to give up open threes, and they do a good job with it. So, and we've struggled to shoot the ball from 3, so that's an area of concern for us with as many threes as we want to take, with them guarding the 3-point line so well. So, you know, we're gonna obviously emphasize our guys getting into the lane a little bit if they're flying out at us that hard. We don't want to shoot contested ones. So if we're seeing them fly out at us on a contest and they're trained pretty well to play hard and contest threes, and we got to try to use that to our advantage and get into the paint, create some rim shots. They don't have good rim protection for the most part. You know, they've got tough physical guys. You know, Wague played here before. We know he can protect the rim. We also know he's foul prone. So, you know, he's a great kid. I think he felt like he'd probably have a little bit bigger role going somewhere else. And, you know, we're pretty familiar with his play. Looking forward to seeing him. But, you know, he's maybe their best shot blocker. He's just not playing very many minutes for him. So they do contest threes well, but I think we can get to the rim and finish at the rim a little bit more on these guys.
Sure.
When you look at the last 13 games, what's maybe your biggest takeaway, and where do you still see room for improvement going into SEC play?
Yeah, so obviously the biggest room for improvements on the defensive side of the ball. Our defense isn't where it needs to be. You know, I think guys taking some individual pride in just their defense and keeping guys out of the lane. I think our rim protection could stand to get a little bit better still. So we need, you know, kind of Cliff and Grant, Aiden to do a better job there. But you know, on the offensive side of the ball, our 3-point percentage is the biggest thing that jumps out. We've got to find better threes. We've got to get the right guys taking more of the threes, and then our turnover rate came back down last game, but it had been an issue up until that. So we got to take care of the ball and get better threes from the correct shooters, and then, you know, while we're missing them, we got to do a good job on the old boards. Like, we can still win games when we don't shoot it great from three by getting on the offensive glass. We got to continue to emphasize that. Those have been the biggest things, though.
Chase.
Can you speak to the non-conference season that the league has had as a whole?
Yeah, it's been, ridiculously successful. Somebody told me we broke the record. I believe there was an ACC team or an ACC year 20 plus years ago that had a 89, 88% winning percentage non-conference, or games before New Year's, I believe is what it came down to, and we broke that. So kind of look, somebody put out a tweet, 16 toughest remaining strength of schedule in the country. The teams that have the 16 toughest remaining strength of schedules are all the 16 SEC teams, which makes sense because our non-conference was so great. So, you see some teams like Oklahoma, who maybe people had projected them to be in the bottom half of the league, and now they're 13-0. So they've helped that tremendously. Tennessee and Auburn, everybody knows, they're 1-2 in the country. They've had an unbelievable start, but Florida's undefeated. They're obviously really good, as is Tennessee. Kentucky's back. Since they're back, they've traditionally been pretty good, but Kentucky's playing really well. Even our teams that maybe picked at the bottom are winning a lot of games. So to almost have a 90% winning, non-conference winning percentages, that's tough. It's going to be a tough league. So a lot of games in there. I think there's going to be, competition for who wins the league all the way up till the end. I think it's going to be hard for anybody to run away with it because there's just no easy games in the league this year.
Jack.
You mentioned Cliff. How have you kind of seen him just adjust to the pace that you guys play? And is he someone you see kind of getting more minutes and seeing his minutes kind of climb as the C play gets underway?
You know what? I would hope, because we need him to be our big-time rim protector. I think he's, I don't know that he's ever going to be in the best shape on the team to play the most minutes, but I think he's figuring the pace out a little better. Mentally he's able to process a little quicker than he was earlier, just because he wasn't used to playing at this pace. And then conditioning-wise, he may be a guy that just plays a lot more shorter stints. He's in and out a little bit more just to kind of keep him fresh. But I hope his minutes go up because we need him to really start to dominate the interior for us moving into league play.
Kurt.
This is sort of back to the three-point issue. Can you expect a team to improve? Are shooters made or born, or can you expect an upward trend, or are there just too many variables to?
You know what? I think, one, I do think shooters are made, and I think some guys have an inclination to, better athletes than others. Some guys have better hand-eye coordination. But you can get in the gym and turn yourself into a shooter. You look at all these guys that are in the NBA that at one point in their, whether it's college career, NBA career, weren't great shooters and have turned themselves into really good shooters. You can turn yourself into a shooter. Now, are you going to do it within the next 9 weeks while conference play starts? I think you've had to put a lot of work in before now to expect to shoot it well in league play. But I think those guys that have put that work in need to continue to put the work in. I think it will jump. I think Sears started out the year struggling, and he's improved quite a bit in the last month or so. I think he's done a better job, making sure he's shot ready and taking good shots. I think if our shooters take great shots, catch and shoots or stepping in, and some of the other guys don't take, and some of our shooters can take some off the dribble ones, but some of our guys need to just strictly catch and shoot threes. So I think emphasizing the type of shots we want, and then emphasizing guys getting in the gym and putting up shots, and then just some guys like Sears kind of reverting back to the mean young blood. The more comfortable he gets, he's been a proven shooter his entire career. I think once he gets healthy, he'll help those numbers go up quite a bit too.
Katie.
Can I just hit what I was going to ask on about Chris Youngblood? Just kind of what do you want to see from him in SEC play as he kind of continues to rank his way back up to being at full health?
Yeah, I think you know, every day that goes by, he gets a little bit more comfortable. He gets a little bit more confidence in his, you know, ankle and foot. A little bit more confidence in his conditioning. You know, it's one of those deals. I mean, when he gets cleared, he's probably only at about 70%, and then you just got to work your way back into it. So it's getting better every day. I thought he looked better these last couple of days of practice. So just gonna have to keep encouraging him, giving him confidence, and then I think, you know, I don't think he's gonna be 100. We were hoping, you know, initially he'd be at 100% by the start of conference play. He's not there yet, but I don't think it's far off. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks he can get there.
Anyone else? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.